start with Miss B and mindfulness.
This 1 minute and 25-second video is right out of the mouth of babes. These kids are craving more peace and more focus in their lives. And isn't it great that Phoenix has the answer? And it's called mindfulness. Couldn't we use our new Chromebooks? And at the top of the playlist in Blackboard, we have mindfulness activities listed so any student at any time in your class could go independently and use that mindfulness practice. It would be great if they did it at the beginning, but some of them are going to want to use it in the middle and even at the end. So, do we do it, or do we just ignore the experts?
Mindfulness is the practice of recognizing thoughts and emotions and feelings without being overly affected by them.
Mindfulness for me has been definitely like a practicing thing. That's something I've really had to work at and focus on, and so I do it every day, but also I found it's really been helpful for like when I'm feeling angry and I don't know why, or I'm feeling angry and I need to calm down a little bit so I can get my thoughts together, or just so I'm, a little more coherent. And so just like being able to take that step back and say like, okay, we can deal with this is really good for me.
Personally, I've just been able to recognize when my body's feeling certain emotions and being able to harness it in a certain way, so then it's easier for me to react properly.
I'd say it's been helpful just because I personally tend to overanalyze if I'm trying to focus and then I start thinking about something else, then I start beating myself up for thinking about that something else, and it just becomes kind of like a downward spiral. Whereas this, I don't know, for some reason the simple fact of just kind of accepting it has allowed me to stay focused.
I'm giving you the traveling trophy for this time.
And we're doing good class.
And, well, I'm sorry for the surprise, and this is for you also.
Who's going to be sharing this? I wonder.
I want to get this to you because you do. Thank you. Because you do a wonderful job with your students. You always expect the best from them.
Thank you.
And even if they are not having a good day, you don't let that drag your expectations down. And you always listen to them, if they're having something personal in their life going on. You set aside the teaching for a moment and take time to teach them. To help them. So I think you do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Oh, I'm going to cry. That ain't even mine. What is that?
I don't know. Aw,
What is it?
they're from the kiddos.
Did I do one? Oh,
Daddy one?
that's why you
I
were
don't
saying.
know.
Oh,
Yeah, this one's from Julian. You're a great teacher and you help us to do good. If we need something, you would do it for us,
oh.
including give you a hard time.
Is this my birthday or something?
I like your teaching and you're nice.
Here are announcements from JCTA. When we started the year during our faculty meeting, we talked about the 4 core drivers. The 4th core driver was planned, intentional instruction for life readiness. Over the next trimester, every Wednesday, we will be working on life readiness. If you look at the RISE schedule, first trimester, the first day of the week and the last day of the week, we have RISE, which is in green. Then we have clubs on Tuesday, Thursday. When you look on October 5th, RISE creeps into that day. And the reason why is there's no school on that Friday. And then there's something called Life Ready Clubs. That's because there was no school on Monday, Tuesday. And now we have Life Ready Clubs in the middle of the week, every Wednesday with the exception of the one Wednesday. So most of it's going to be using ILPs. What's an ILP? It's required by the state for all students to explore and complete, but you'll also hear the word career cruising, which is synonymous. They're the same. The difference is career cruising is the software. If you have students who are proficient at Blackboard or you use Blackboard in your classroom, they can just log into their Blackboard account, and on the far left-hand side is Career Cruising. They don't need to be assigned to a class or anything like that. Mr. Harvey has set up a Blackboard class. That's an opportunity for you to be trained on how to do ILPs within your classroom. It doesn't take very long. Most of it's the instructions and the details that's required for your life lesson. If you look at the first thing is staff instructions, it kind of explains what needs to be done. But the second one is a chance to log in using a trainer site. You can see the click here for ILP staff training logins. You can use that username and password when you go to careercruising/ILP, and you can play around with it. So for Wednesday, during life lessons, we have grades 6, 8, and 10 will be completing lesson 1, which is called Career Matchmaking. It's not too complicated. You can see this is the ILP, so if you have somebody in Blackboard, they will log in through Blackboard to Career Cruising. If you don't have Blackboard, they will be given a slip of paper that will send them to the ILP using their password and username, and they will click on My Assignment. From My Assignment is Matchmaker. From Matchmaker, they will have to create a label, of which what the label does is to make it so they can retrieve it at any time using that name. They have to complete all 39 questions in one sitting. It takes about 15 minutes to do the whole thing. The type of questions you can see are presenting ideas and information in writing. There are 39 of them, and they will have to decide dislike very much to like very much, and they will go through all 39. For grades 7, 9, 11, and 12, and we do know that you'll have mixed groups in your classroom, they'll go on to lesson 2, My Saved Careers. My Saved Careers, you go to where you can see Amanda is in my particular example. I'm clicking on that. It goes to View Details, and while this seems like a couple extra steps, the reality is we want them to be good at this, going to View Details, because then they can see all the different components of their ILP through Career Cruising. So what they will do is My Saved Career. From there, they will see all the different careers that they may have chosen in past Matchmaker examples. You see at the top it says your results from Matchmaker October 2012. So that will be stored, and that will be the label that the 6th, 8th, and 10th graders will create, and they can go back. So the expectation for the odd number grades plus 12th graders is to explore at least 3 of their different chosen occupations. So what does the Teacher Facilitator do? Number 1 is help get them on Career Cruising, and that could be going through Blackboard, could be going into Career Cruising. If you have any problems, you're going to call 2100, get Maggie, and then call for help. We will have customer service on call. The moment somebody calls, we'll run to the room and help. The next thing is help students get to either Career Matchmaker or My Saved Career, depending on their grade. So you're going to help them get to that point. Then you're going to keep all students focused and on task. Then you're going to reinforce the importance of thoughtful answers. The goal is not to see who gets done first. The goal is to be thoughtful and take your time. Don't make them rush. Don't let them rush. So you want to make sure they have a sense of it's important and that they have to do it well. Get students, as they start to go through it, they're going to have questions. As they have questions, answer them. Give students guidance, some career guidance, because that's our 4th core driver. If a student doesn't finish the first part of their ILP on Wednesday, they're more than welcome to do it on the 14th during that club period as well. The important thing is if they're working in Matchmaker, they have to complete all 39 questions.